The race to the future is about to start.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. We're almost there, guys, we're almost there. Our penultimate session of the day, a very, very special one indeed. You've been enticed by the trailer, and now we're going to meet some of the guys behind Formula E. Our whole theme has been around harnessing the power of transformation, and this event is something that really has transformed and changed and really does have a powerful kick. So, without further ado, let's bring to the stage, first off, we have Bruno Senna, a Brazilian legend, son of the great Ayrton. Come to the stage, Bruno. Good. And then just if that couldn't get any better, I don't know if any of you saw the inaugural race a few weeks back, we have the winner of that race, Lucas de Grassi. Good to see you. How are you? Very well. And then just to round it all off, probably one of the most important men in the company, we have Alberto Longo, who is the joint CEO and managing director of Formula E. It's a long walk, I know, sorry. Everyone can see the screen. Good to see you. So guys, we talked a lot about storytelling over the last 2 days. And I suppose Formula E and how a new generation is engaging with each other and how they're engaging with brands and engaging with consumers. But Formula E has kind of not so much changed Formula One, but has kind of rewritten the storybook. So I kind of was just wondering what the vision was behind Formula E, and crucially, you guys have been doing some marvellous marketing things, but actually almost without a marketing budget. So it's a very clever marketing things. How have you gone about doing this, and how have you generated an audience for Formula E?
Well, I don't really think that we have been rewriting the book of Formula One. I think we have our let's say, our own chapter, the electrical chapter of racing. So I don't know if you guys agree with is it okay? Is everyone listening? I don't know if you guys agree with what I'm saying, but Formula One is, I mean, it's huge. We are love Formula One lovers. You know, we myself, I have been involved in Formula One for many years. Now we are in Formula E. As I said, it's a completely new championship, and that's it.
Yeah, and from a driver perspective, how does it feel to be drive? You know, you're going from something that makes an amazing noise when you put your foot down on the accelerator to what some people have said sounds like lawnmowers. But obviously, watching the first race, I can see it's a lot quicker than people imagine.
Well, I think it's important to say first why Formula E was created, why Formula E has a space in current motorsport. Basically. Formula E was created by FIA, which is the same organizer as Formula One. We don't want to compete with Formula One. We don't want to compete with IndyCar or NASCAR. We want to create our own place in motorsport globally. And why is that? That was created, why Formula E was created was to especially change perception of people's mind about electric cars. Electric cars, it's a common sense in the industry that the technology will change from combustion to electric in the near future. People disagree, maybe 5, 10, 15 years. Depends which one we're saying, but oil eventually will run out and people will go to electric. So to change the perception faster, to make electric cars sexier, to make electric cars, to improve the technology also, of course, of the current electric technology, but also to change, to increase people awareness that the electric car can be fast, sexy, can have fights in the track, overtakings, and so on. So this is why Formula E was created. That's why, since the beginning, I was so looking forward for this championship, because also we love to race, we love to drive fast cars, But if you could also change something or in a way put in something that would create some benefit for society at the same time would be a great thing. And that's why I joined Formula E, and I'm proud to be racing for Audi Sport Team Abt.
And Bruno, from your point of view, that whole sustainable piece really has started to engage with countries around the world, hasn't it? So you've gone to various countries, and actually it's become a big buzzword for brands, for agencies. Everyone has some sort of corporate social responsibility these days. And how have you kind of found that as you've started to promote FE around the world?
Well, Formula E, obviously, it's a different strategy to Formula One. Formula E goes to the fans. We go to the city centers where all the people are going to be. We, I think, cater to a bit of a different fan base compared to Formula One. Formula One is very much the hardcore fans, and some people will struggle to change their passion from Formula One to Formula E because, you know, it's a different concept of racing. Especially at this point, Formula E is much more of a strategic race rather than pure pushing, even though Formula One is a bit like that at the moment as well. So I think we have a different platform, and the fact that we're going to the city centers is creating lots of different opportunities. You know, the companies, our sponsors are going crazy about it. They're like, this is so different. We can use all sorts of different activities and activations, things that when you think about going to Silverstone or going to a racetrack that is normally remote, not very near a city center, you have to bring all the people there, whereas on a city center, you're there. Everything is near, everything is easier, and we are not as disruptive as well, so the message goes a long way that we are trying to be, and we are less disruptive and more eco-friendly and sustainable than most current forms of motor racing.
Absolutely. And I suppose the other thing you guys are doing to build up an audience and be slightly different is social media is going to play a big part in the race, which is why this slide has popped up on the middle of the stage here. Basically, I'll come on to what these guys are doing, but social media is going to play a big part in how they race and actually giving them a kind of advantage, which they will explain more in a moment. But for all of you in this room now, you are being given the opportunity to win 2 VIP tickets in the paddock at any race of your choice, Formula E. Obviously, they're here in Miami in March. But essentially what you need to do at some point during this conversation, Bruno is the man to listen to because he's going to give some figures which will be the answer to the question here. So the battery duration of a electric car. So if you can, electric battery duration, if you can work out what that is, you can cheat if you want to use the Google, but I would suggest we wait. And then the most engaged person during the session will be picked at random, and I will reveal the winner up here. And you could even get your photo with probably the 2 sexiest drivers in Formula E, and also their MD. Yeah. But anyway, back to social media.
I was a girl saying that.
Back to social media. And how is the social media working? Is it like a fan boost? How does that work?
Yeah, we have a very different feature in terms of motor racing. We have a fan boost.
I think any sport, right?
Yeah, I don't think
there's any sport that
a fan can interact directly with a factor of the race. In this case, the fans can tweet and Facebook. They go and vote for up to 1 driver per person, but 3 drivers per race will get a boost. So they'll get 5 seconds of extra power in their cars to help overtaking.
Let me correct you. You have 2 boosts, not 1.
Yeah, one per car. I know. I didn't get to use mine.
Neither did I.
But yeah, so each driver has 1 boost per car. So in total, 10 seconds of boost of extra power per car in the race, which can help overtake or can help your strategy, and that will help you alter the result of the race. So for sure, the fans will can have a massive effect on the end result of the race.
Yeah, I think it's for people which are not motorsport hardcore fans. I think it's this fan boost. I think it's the first time ever in professional sport that actually not by only cheering you can help your team or in case your driver, but actually by doing social media interactions you can generate actual more power in his motor. So this is it's something completely new. So actually you can help your driver by doing social interactions. They calculate the votings, the top 3 most voted in social media. Actually, they on the electronic system of the car, they release an extra power. So actually you can actually gain 1 position, and you can gain a few tenths in 1 or 2 laps during a race, it doesn't change the complete effect of the result of the race.
It doesn't necessarily affect it. But
yes, but it actually gives a good benefit for the driver who gets it. So it's a very different kind of for the fans to be part of it.
The racing is very close, which is not so easy in motor race. Normally the racing is not so close, but Formula E has already very close racing, so any benefit you can have will definitely help you out.
So what is the key to growing your own social media audience, you know, posting various videos, various pictures, or is it actually let's attract some brands to sponsor us as drivers that have got an amazing social media following?
Well, there's all sorts of ways to get the boost, you know. In my case, I'm lucky, I have lots of followers on social media, so that really helps. But, you know, I think the team sponsors, if they use their fan base to go and cheer the drivers, sponsors and companies and drivers, anyone can make an app to try and get these people to get involved. There's all sorts of ways. There's Google, and I guess you guys know better than we do, the ways that you can call people into a cause. And I guess that's one of the things. But it's sport. It's something that's passionate and you can get involved with.
I got the help of Audi Brazil to actually manage to gain my fan boost. So I convinced Audi to put on their social media, and they have something like 1-point-something million followers. And then it really helped me to get this fan boost. Yeah.
Was that the secret to the win in the first race, or was that just?
No, I didn't use, but yeah, it would create a good benefit of if I could use it. Yeah.
Cool. And how do you guys go about attracting sponsors? Obviously, it's a brand new brand, Formula E. How do you go about attracting different sponsors and brands to kind of get involved in the brand itself?
And to create a new brand, I mean, I don't need to tell you how difficult it is or how challenging it is. No? So I think you really need to have a product, a good product to sell. It will be even better if the product has been never shown before. So if you have something unique and let's say exclusive, but for sure you need in our case we need partners to promote it. No. There are two ways of doing this. One is with limitless budget, you know, which is not our case.
Yes.
And the other one is for sure by playing smart and playing with your partners. No? In this case, we were lucky enough to convince many people at a very early stage, people or companies such as Renault, Tag Heuer, Qualcomm. Now lately we have also Julius Baer. I mean, there are big names out there who has been really helping us on promoting the races and trying to engage the fans, no, from their own platforms. And that's it. I mean, that's.
I mean, the coverage has been phenomenal, hasn't it? I know I'd spoken to Bruno previously, and we'd spoken about the marketing budget for Formula E, and we said it was considerably less than the lowest paid team in Formula One per race. So, I mean, it's just incredible how you've done that. I mean, is there some kind of secrets behind that? Are the countries backing you where you go as well?
Again, it's exactly the same. I mean, we are really backed up by sponsors and partners. Well, I like to call them partners. There is also one special mention here with Fox, which has been doing a great promotion of the championship from the very beginning. And in one person especially, which is Carlos Martinez, the president. He was really, really brave at that early stage to believe on us. It was more a matter of faith, I will say, rather than even being smart. So
yes.
Now after a few months, I don't know if Carlos is around, but thank you very much, Carlos.
I think he might have been here Tuesday, or he may have been taken away by the dancing girls in the Lamac showcase on Wednesday night. Who knows?
But yeah, I mean, definitely companies like Fox, like many other broadcasters that we do have signed, helps us a lot to let's say, play in a very efficient way the budget.
Yeah. And then how do you kind of, you build on that momentum? So we've got that momentum to start with. How do you kind of build on that and the longevity of Formula E? Kind of how do you see as a brand expanding over the kind of next 12, 24 months?
For me, I think it's pretty clear that the objective of the championship, now that it's been created and it's been started to run, it's to develop technology. And we know that as race teams, as racing people, we want to win. So from next year on, we have, for next championship on, we have a opening of the regulations. So each team can develop their own electric motors and battery components, and you can upgrade your car. This year everything is fixed, everybody has the same equipment, but next year everybody has a different, can have a different development, which means that suddenly everybody has a motivation to create new technology because you're going to win on the racetrack, you're going to develop that on the racetrack, and that becomes immediately translatable to your road cars. So all the manufacturers will have an interest in this, and Renault is already a partner of the championship, which is always a great sign of faith. BMW is looking into the championship as well.
Mahindra?
Mahindra is our team, and they've been manufacturing electric cars for 25 years or something. So they are all looking into these opportunities to create this, track-proof it, and then go to a road car and say, look, we're winning races here on this championship, our technology is better than the others. And I think this is where Formula E can become finally the main platform for development of electric cars, and us drivers just have fun, enjoy our opportunities to develop it for them.
Well, one more thing to add to that, and is of course we want to be in more cities than what we are today. So apart from the technology side, which is so important for us, and to start bringing manufacturers to the championship, we would really like to start adding cities. It will be something like 2 or 3 per year, until a maximum of 16 to 18 in 4 or 5 years' time. So this is where we see Formula E in that 4 or 5 period of time.
And I'm intrigued by the technology side of things. That's quite a big thing if you're starting to influence the way consumers behave and the way they see cars. Because at the moment, particularly in London, the most electric cars you see are Nissan Leafs, which really, A, don't look particularly sexy, and I'm sure last all of about 30 minutes. But does it have that big an impact? You know, you genuinely think it will have that big an impact on the way we develop technology for cars in the future?
Yeah, I mean, when the people see that it's, for me, it comes from this way. Right now, everybody looks at electric cars and think, why would I buy an electric car instead of a petrol-powered car? Because in a petrol-powered car, I can go to the fuel station and pump it and off I go. In an electric car, you have to wait for the battery to charge. With battery technology development, suddenly, we want to make the question the other way around. Why would I buy a polluting car instead of a clean car that has the same performance or better, has the same practicality, you can charge it at home, so on and so on. So suddenly it becomes the other, this is what we want to happen. The question becomes the other way around, and then everybody has to go this way for the battery technology. And I think that's where we believe that Formula E will go, and hopefully that's what we can change. I mean, imagine how much time you can charge your smartphone battery with a Formula E battery.
How long would that be?
What do you think?
It would be a long time.
It would be a long time, wouldn't it? It's a 30 kilowatt hour battery on the Formula E car. It's big.
It's 220 kilos.
So, how long do you think?
Let me say it.
I don't know if you can say it. Do you know?
I do know it. I can't say
I don't know. 5 hours?
A little bit more than
A bit more than that.
But you can say it.
It's about between 2,500 and 3,000 smartphone batteries in a Formula E car.
Okay, fine. So it lasts a lot longer than an iPhone, to be fair.
Yeah. It's the same technology. It's a lithium-ion battery. So, for example, if they develop a better battery on the car, a different compound or something, you see also the clear development on the smartphone will be kind of same way. That's why it opens up also for different manufacturers. So how can you imagine a Samsung, for example, being producing a drivetrain, for example, for Formula One? They can. But in Formula E, they could eventually. Or any other battery manufacturer, Panasonic or many, many others. They could eventually produce a battery and electric motor because they already produce it and become a supplier of a powertrain for Formula E. So it opens up a much bigger picture for traditional car companies and other companies to get involved.
So a whole kind of collaboration piece, which is quite interesting.
But that's important to balance. So it's important to balance that you make it free enough for the companies to invest on the technology, but
sustainable as well.
Sustainable enough so the costs does not explode like Formula One. So it's a good balancing. The format Formula E chose is a very good one. So the operational cost is much, much less than a Formula 1 car. It's 20 times less, I would say. So that creates a lot of a good overall cost benefit of investing for a sponsor or for a manufacturer in Formula E.
And in terms of sponsors, interesting you bring that up for the sponsors to get involved. What sort of sponsors do you guys kind of look for? Are they sponsors, do they have to have a sustainable edge to them? Do they have to be showcasing, they've got good sustainable credentials?
Well, I can say about my car, for example, it's a very good combination. So I have my car is a German team, Audi Sport, so Audi, the same manufacturer as the road car. They have a company called Schaeffler, which has 150,000 employees. It's a huge German company, but they produce electric motors for forklifts, which has nothing to do with racing. But they are so interested about the technology that they can take out of the Formula E car and put it over into their electric motors. They are sponsoring the team big time. But myself personally, I have an e-cigarette company sponsoring me, which is actually quite interesting as well, because at the same time that it makes a lot of sense for e-Formula to have an e-cigarette partner and to promote, of course, the company through that. I thought it was a clever move from their side.
We have, of course, Mahindra, who's a car manufacturer. It's an enormous company in India. They make all sorts of cars and different products. And they are obviously interested the same way in the technology that they can develop, in the partners they can bring in together as well. Personally, we brought Gillette into the championship. Gillette, from my perspective, is a great sponsor because not only they sponsor lots of sports, so they bring lots of attention to Formula E as soon as as long as sports fans are concerned, but also Gillette is a great company for the advertising side. They are extremely strong on pushing the social media and creating a lot of awareness for the sport. So Gillette was obviously very helpful on my fan boost ratings on the first race in Beijing, but that's the thing. Sponsors are getting more involved rather than being part of it. They are into it, and they are really important for everybody.
Brilliant. And I suppose I've just seen the clock flashing up here. We have 2.5 minutes left. So if you want to be that most engaged speaker, I suggest you continue hashtagging and answering the question. Anyone have any questions in the audience? Come on. It's the penultimate session, guys. This will be your last chance. Where are you going to have these two legendary drivers here? Here we go. Yes, sir.
When do you think you'll be bigger than Formula One?
He forgot he had a microphone on as well.
Again, I thought we mentioned that before, but we really, we don't want to be compared with Formula One. We have our own path. I really believe in that fact. And why? I mean, I don't really think that we should be compared to Formula One. We are a complete new championship. We are developing a complete new technology. And Formula One, they have big fan, again. One of them is myself. And we should be building a complete new thing and without following the path of Formula One.
And then, if there's no more questions, any more questions from the audience? I have one last question, which is a bit of fun, actually. If you were in Miami tonight, which driver from the F1 paddock would you like to bring out to have fun with tonight? Who's the funnest person in Formula One, driver-wise?
I used to be Lucas, but
but you're married now.
What's that?
let me think. There's a few very boring guys in Formula One.
Who are they? We like that as well. Who are they?
Who's the funnest one?
I
I think Kimi. Kimi is the funnest one.
Yeah.
You can.
Kimi Räikkönen is a crazy guy. Yeah?
Okay.
You probably found him in a nightclub somewhere.
Now.
Probably in
No.
He would have had a few drinks before he came on stage, is what you're saying. I like that. Okay, guys, we're almost at the end, which gives me a second to announce the lucky winner of these 2 VIP tickets to see Formula E in the country of their choice is someone using the handle of Daniel in Miami. Where are you, Daniel in Miami? Come on up, come on up. Woo! You can have a quick picture with these guys.
Congratulations. Encantado.
Gentlemen, lucky man.
Get your picture.
Ahí, al lado.
Marvellous. And let's give a big round of applause to Daniel, thank you. And then also to our three fantastic speakers, Alberto, Lucas, and Bruno. Thank you very much, guys.
Very much.